First and foremost, all praises are due to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us his truth. Salutations to the brothers around the four corners of the earth who are teaching this word in truth and sincerity. And shalom to the hopeful elect of Israel who listen and believe in this word. This is Brother Karatas Abad coming at you with another lesson. This one is entitled Follow Through to Obtain the Crown of Life. And that crown of life is referring to, of course, hoping to be part of the hopeful elect and get beamed up into the chariots when Yahweh Shai comes on the day of the Lord, which we are in that season. We're in that time. Okay, the time is nigh. So we are in the season where we don't have long before Yahweh Shai will be coming back on the planet Earth, cracking the clouds with the myriad of angels, putting Babylon, America, into judgment and into a lake of fire along with the nuclear missiles coming from Russia and the other nations. So we are very much in that season. And that crown of life will be an everlasting body, the victory over death, like Yahweh Shai got when he was sacrificed. Now, the elect or the remnant are known as the 1/3 elect or remnant that will be saved out of all of Israel, the Hebrew Israelites. 2/3 of the Hebrew Israelites will not make it. They're going to die on this side, and they'll be born back in the kingdom through the loins of the 1/3 elect that make it into the kingdom, or should I say the 1/3 elect, not hopeful elect, but the elect that make it into the kingdom via the chariots, also known as UFOs to Esau, okay, the Edomites. But like I said, you have to follow through to obtain the crown of life. So there's many steps to this truth. First of all, knowing you're a Hebrew Israelite, that's a good thing. But then there's more to it. There's also giving up and sacrificing things such as holidays, and if you were eating pork or shrimp, okay, certain things that you have to sacrifice, that you have to put off as far as this world to obtain that crown of life. So it's a test of endurance, a test of will, and it's not easy, you see, but you have to follow through. What is the definition of follow through? I have it written down here. To follow through means to continue an action or a task to its conclusion. So being in this truth, knowing you're a Hebrew Israelite, knowing the name of Yahweh, the Most High, and his son Yahweh Shai, all right? Those are important things to know. Knowing about the MOTB, all right, that's going to be coming very, very soon, spoken of in Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. Knowing these things are a good thing, you see, but we have to continue the task of being in this truth until the end, you see. You can't go back into the world, back into the old man, okay? You can't go back to doing holidays, you see. You can't go back into thinking America, Babylon is gonna be, great in the next 20, 30 years, because it's not. It's going down little by little, brick by brick, you see. But those of us in this truth that know about this truth, that know about the secret things that are in this book, such as reincarnation, that the Edomite so-called white man is the devil, you see, that Yahweh Shai is going to be coming back with the chariots cracking the clouds, that Yahweh Shai has the victory over death, that Yahweh Shai died for the Hebrew Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Those are secrets that not everybody knows, but you have to continue to follow through until the conclusion. And that final conclusion will be Yahweh Shai coming to destroy Babylon, America, and to extract the elect of the nation of Israel. But let's get some scriptures here. Let's go to Hebrews 10. We have here on the screen verse 35. Cast not away therefore your confidence, which hath great recompense of reward. So you have to trust in the Lord. You have to stay confident. You have to stay prayed up. You have to read scriptures. You can listen to lessons, particularly from Great Millstone and their affiliates. There are thousands of lessons to give you exhortation, encouragement, and edification to build you up. Because being in this truth, it has its up days and you have your down days. It's going to be some days where you get down, and I've gotten like this maybe probably within the past week where I just kind of been down, but I continue to pray because not everything's going to go your way. You're going to be tempted, and sometimes you're going to fall into the temptation. But a righteous man, as the scripture says, gets up 7 times. Okay, you get right back up. You go back into your prayer. You read scriptures. You call on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai for faith and wisdom until the end, because you have to keep your eye on the prize. That's the most important thing, keeping your eye on the prize. But it's not an easy thing because you have this world, this wicked world that's always trying to pull you back in. And then you're going to be tested. If you're going to be one of Yahweh Shai's, servants, his true servants, you see, or should I say his real brother, okay, or sister, then you're going to have to go through some things and be tested. You see, you're not just going to get in, that easily. So you're going to have endurance, like in a marathon. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Let's read that again. Hebrews 10 and verse 35. Cast not away therefore your confidence, which hath great recompense of reward. So continue to trust in the Lord. You see, have confidence and faith that Yahweh Shai is going to be coming back to Babylon, America, to begin his rulership as King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Verse 36. For ye have need of patience, which is long suffering, that after ye have done the will of Yahweh, ye might receive the promise. And part of doing his will, you see, is doing your best to rehearse the righteous acts, not loving this world, putting off this world, putting off your old man deeds, okay, calling on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, you see, praying, reading scriptures, doing your best to follow the commandments that he laid out in this book, you see. But the main thing is having confession of Yahweh Shai being here, dying, being resurrected. Now he's sitting on the right-hand side of the Father, and he's going to be coming back. So that's also having faith and confidence as well, that he's going to be coming back and he's going to deliver on his promise, particularly to the elect of Israel, the 1/3 elect, you see. So you have to have patience. This is the long game, okay? You have to be in this for the long game, not for the short term. It's going to happen, next week, tomorrow. It's a long game. Now we are near the end, but you still have to have patience, and you can't go back into the world, you see, because then you're through. Hebrews 10 and verse 37. For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come and will not tarry, you see. So in a little while, we're talking about he that shall come. That's Yahweh Shai. All right. And when he comes, he's not going to delay. When it happens, it's going to happen. Hebrews 10 and verse 38. Now the just shall live by faith. But if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. And many of us in this truth have dealt with that. Those thoughts, those feelings. You see those spirits of your old man, the old man want to get back in and tell you like, oh man, this is just a fad, it's just a cult, go back into just doing what you was doing, go back into, smoking weed and smoking cigarettes and partying and, sleeping with other men's, wives. Just do what you want to do, man. Do what thou will. That's some devilish shit. You know, that's from Aleister Crowley. Okay, he was a satanic worshiper from England, and one of his sayings was, "Do as thou will," which is like do what you want. If you want to be with a man and you're a man, that's okay. If you want to be with a woman and you're a woman, that's all right. So if you draw back, okay, from the Lord and go back into the world and give up on this truth and deny it, you see, he's going to have no pleasure in you at all. You see? Let's read this again, Hebrews 10 and verse 38. Now the just shall live by faith, but if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. You see? Hebrews 10 and 39. But we are not of them. And of course, this is Paul speaking. Okay? All right? And it says Hebrews, so he's talking about the Hebrew Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Hebrews 10 and verse 39. But we are not of them who draw back unto perdition, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul. You see? So this is a thing of faith. We have faith that Yahushua is going to come back. We have faith that Babylon, America is going to be destroyed. We have faith that we're part of the elect, that we're going to be beamed up out of here and saved out of the coming destruction of Babylon, America. So you have to have faith. You see, belief to the saving of your soul. So you got to go all the way. You got to follow through to obtain the crown of life. You see? Let's continue on. Let's go to another precept. Let's go to James chapter 5. We have James chapter 5. And we have verse 7. And it reads as such. You see, it says here exhortation at the heading, which means encouragement. James 5. Of course, this is Paul speaking as well. Or this may be, this is probably James. Okay? The book of James, I believe, was written by James. So, James chapter 5 and verse 7. Be patient. And of course, James was the brother of Yahushua. Be patient, therefore, brethren, until the coming of the Lord. You see, patience. You got to be patient, which is long suffering, same thing. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and hath long patience for it, until he receive the early and latter rain. Now, the husbandman is, of course, a farmer, all right, who's waiting patiently for the rain, okay, so his crops can grow. So you have to be like a husbandman also, patiently waiting for Yahushua, you see, until he comes and cracks those clouds on the day of the Lord. So this thing takes patience and endurance. You can't give up. You can't go back into the world. Essentially, the scripture says you are captive to Yahushua. Once you know this truth, there's really no turning back. Because if you turn back, it's going to be very bad for you. Now, we all fall off the wagon every now and then, but you have to get back on. Okay, you have to, like I said, you have to be in this for the long haul. James 5 and verse 8. Be ye also patient. Establish your hearts, okay? For the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. So you got to be patient. You got to have patience. Because, the Lord he's going to be, he is drawing nigh. You see all the things happening in the world. You see the wars and rumors of wars. You see the climates in disarray. You see the fish are washing up on the beaches, all right, and from the oceans. You see the animals are attacking people in various places. You see judgment going down amongst the 2/3 of the Hebrew Israelites who aren't hearkening to this word, as well as Esau and the Edomites and the other nations. So you see all these things are happening. So we know that the Lord is drawing nigh. He's very much near. James 5, and let's go down to verse 11. Behold, we count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful, which means he's full of mercy, and of tender mercy. You see? So endurance means you have to be in this for the long haul. Okay? You have to have that breath, that long breath. Like people that run the marathon, they have endurance. You see? Because they practice over and over again to build that endurance up. So that's part of, your journey as well. Reading scriptures, praying to the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, doing your best to rehearse the righteous acts and to behave in righteousness as much as possible. So that's part of your endurance. You see? All right. Also, abstaining from going back into the world, separating yourself from the wickedness of this world. That's part of being, that's part of the endurance of enduring, so to speak. So let's continue on. Let's go to another precept. Let's go to Matthew chapter 24. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 7. Because when you get more and more into this truth, you're going to be tested. You're going to have thoughts arise in your head that are going to try to sway you to, like I said, go back into the world, go back into your old habits, but you have to withstand that to the best of your ability. And we have the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai to give you faith and wisdom, okay, and confidence in this truth. Matthew 24 and verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes, in diverse places, in many parts of the world. So, we are coming up on that. Where we're going to, first, some things have to happen, of course. Now, you have the Fed now that was initiated in maybe I think a week ago, about July 1st, the Fed Now system, which is really a prerequisite to the CBDC, the central bank digital currency, which is a prelude to the MOTB, the CHIP they want to implement and make everybody take it around the planet Earth, either in your forehead or in one of your hands. So we're very, very close, you see. And once that happens, you're going to have, of course, martial law, because you're going to have people that are going to be in an uproar. Even those who aren't Hebrew Israelites are going to be in an uproar about taking that CHIP. But many people will take it to try to save themselves, because you're not going to be able to buy or sell. And this is where your faith comes in, your endurance, your trust in the Lord, that he's going to find a way for you out of this chaos that's going to be coming. He's going to feed you, that he's going to provide you with, some water, you see, and he's going to help you survive. Now, some of us will be put in prison. Some will have our heads chopped off, because we're not going to accept that MOTB. The elect aren't. But everybody's not going to be put in that predicament. It's going to be different for everyone, you see. So let's continue. Let's read this again, Matthew 24 and verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. So like I said, we're coming up on that very, very soon. Once they initiate that MOTB, you're going to have martial law. You're going to have race riots. You're going to have purges, all types of things going on. And this very well may happen before the MOTB, so they can say, well, the MOTB is going to solve all your problems, because the economy has to fail in order for them to bring the plan out and make it look good. Okay? So many of those things are probably going to be happening in order for Esau, the Edomites, the elites of the Edomites, so-called white man, to bring out the MOTB as the solution. You see, I'm the magic man. I'm going to solve all your problems. Even though everything is being controlled by Yahweh, he controls the left and the right. Okay, pursuant to Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 7. Verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. You see? Matthew 24:9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. You see, this is going to be the true followers of Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, known as the hope for elect, because they're going to withstand not taking that MOTB. They're going to raise up the name of Yahweh, the Most High, and his son Yahweh Shai. You see, so many people are going to hate us, even 2/3 of our people, the Hebrew Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and of course the other nations already hate us. You know, Esau, the Edomite, so-called white man, being at the top of that list. So we're going to be hated for the namesake of Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, you see, because we're going to go through all the way. Hopefully we follow through to obtain that crown of life. We endure to the end. That's the goal, you see, to endure to the end. Matthew 25 and verse 10. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. You see? So all these things are going to be going on. So you're going to have Hebrew Israelites who are not of the elect, who know they're Hebrew Israelite, coming up against the true men of the Lord. You see? The 1/3 hope for elect, who are praising the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, who are praying for the destruction of Babylon, who hate this place, you see, who are doing their best to rehearse the righteous acts. All right? So many shall be offended, and many shall betray one another. That includes family. Your family's going to turn on you. Your friends are. Once they know that you're in this to win this, and you're proclaiming Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, and in order for them to save themselves, many of them are going to, rat on you. Well, I know this Hebrew Israelite down the street. He be on the corners. He has videos, etc. You see? Matthew 24:11. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And some of that is happening right now. You have false prophets even among Israel who are Hebrew Israelites who aren't giving the Hebrew Israelites that are listening to them the full story, the full Monty, as they say, and are lying to them, are getting, money through the Cash App. It's all about money. What can I sell? Besides saying the full truth, okay, the 100% truth of this doctrine, like Great Millstone and the elders and apostles have taught us in the affiliates, okay? Matthew 24 and verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And so we're basically in that time now. It's going to get even colder. Okay, when the food is when you get the famines and the pestilences, and some things start happening, the blackouts, whatever they have planned, the elites. Whenever this goes down, you're going to really see who's down with Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, and who's not. Matthew 24, verse 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So like I said, follow through to obtain the crown of life. So you have to endure until the end, you see. Let's continue on. Let's read James 1 and 12. And we'll be done very shortly. James chapter 1 and verse 12. And it reads as such. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. You see, let's read the NLT version, James chapter 1 and verse 12 on the right-hand side. The NLT translation. Yahweh blesses those who patiently endure testing in temptation. Afterward, they will receive the crown of life that Yahweh has promised to those who love him. And that ultimate test will be whether you choose to receive that MOTB, that CHIP, or not. That's going to be the ultimate temptation. Okay, the hour of temptation or the time of testing You see, that's going to be the last test. And the elect of Yahweh, Baal Shem Yahweh Shai, are not going to give in to that. And like I said, some of us, okay, if I am among the elect, some of us will not, are not going to participate in that MOTB, okay, implantation. And some of us will be beheaded. Some of us will be put in prison, but many of us will escape that, you see? But either way, whether you are slaughtered or not, or killed, or you have the guillotine chop your head off, you're going to receive the crown of life if you resist that time of testing, that last big test, which is that MOTB, spoken of in Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. Okay, let's move on. One more precept, Revelation chapter 2. We have here verse 9. And it reads as such: I know thy works in tribulation, in poverty, but thou art rich. And here it's talking about, this is Yahweh Shai, okay? Because this revelation was given to John the apostle. He was the last apostle to survive. He was exiled to the island of Patmos. He was in his 90s, but he was given this book of Revelation that speaks of these days that are upon us now. So here you have Yahweh Shai saying, I know thy works in tribulation, in poverty, but thou art rich. And those of us who are Hebrew Israelites, even those who are very successful, who have a lot of money, okay, you really are not rich, you see. You really are in poverty because you don't even know, or you haven't recognized, many of us, who we are as a Hebrew Israelite, and that we're blessed and we're chosen by the Most High Yahweh. We are the chosen people. So he's saying, I know thy works and tribulations and poverty. And he's talking about those of us who are in this truth. Okay, you have men of the Lord who are teaching, apostles, ministers, evangelists, teachers. Many of us have different roles in this truth, in this church of Yahweh Shai. But he knows your works, the things you're going through here in America, Babylon, all right? Not being in your land, you see? He knows your poverty. Some of us are barely making it, Some of us don't have cars. Some of us are behind in our rent. Some of us are struggling, with various things, maybe sick, etc. So he knows what you're going through, your works, what you're doing. Are you praying? Are you reading scripture? Are you calling on his name? Are you teaching if you can teach? Are you on the highways and the hedges? If you're able to do that and you have the courage and the faith, you see? So he knows what's going on. But he says here, but thou art rich, meaning you're rich and blessed with this truth of Yahweh Baal Shem, Yahweh Shai. This is a blessing. We are truly rich. We have an opportunity to receive the crown of life, to receive everlasting life and the victory over death as part of the 1/3 elect on this side, you see. Let's read this again, Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9. I know thy works in tribulation, in poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Now, this is also talking about those fake J's, okay? They call themselves Jewish people, kind of a Jew, that are in Israel that look like Edomites, okay? They are Edomites, most of them. There are some of our people still over there that are Israelites. Their lineage goes back to Jacob and his 12 sons. So we are scattered like the sand of the sea, as the scripture says. You see, the Hebrew Israelites are. We're in every nation around the world. But the majority of those so-called white people who are Edomites that call themselves Jewish, all right? He says, I know the blasphemy of them that would say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. This also talks about those among us who are Jews, who are Hebrew Israelites here in America, all right, who are outwardly, they're doing the things of the Hebrew Israelites, outwardly they're being righteous, okay, but they're not telling the whole truth. They're not giving you the whole 100% truth of the doctrine of Yahushua, okay? And they're doing things by malicious means. Like I said, asking for money, worried about fancy robes, okay? So you have a few groups out here like that, all right? But we know Great Millstone has 100% truth of the doctrine of Yahushua. Great Millstone, their affiliates, starting with Elder Apostle Tahar on down, you see? So you have many Hebrew Israelites who say they are Jews, but they're doing satanic things, and they're actually going against the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai and not telling the congregation the full truth, you see? So let's continue on. That's another lesson for another time as well. Let's do verse 10, Revelation 2 and verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. You see? Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. The devil is referring to Esau, the Edomite, so-called white man, okay? Some of us will be put in prison, okay, to be tested, because the elect will not be fooled by the MOTB, the CHIP spoken of in Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. Let me start again. Revelation 2 and verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Now that 10 days is just a round number. It could be 20 days, a month. It's just a number, okay, that they gave you here in the scripture. It could be more than 10 days. But be faithful, calling Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, okay? Have faith, patience, and you'll be given a crown of life, you see? So you have to follow through to obtain the crown of life. You have to keep your faith up. You can't give up. You have to have supreme confidence that Yahushua is going to follow through, that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is going to follow through. So on that note, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I hope this was an edifying lesson for you. Shalom.